But yeah, man, I had to kind of speak it. Hold on there. Got it. Okay. All right. I'm still coming in clear.
You're
Yep.
good,
Okay.
brother.
So speaking with Jacob, man, he kind of sent me some stuff to kind of go over. I was like, yo, man, we just had a hell of a meeting. I've been here since, I got contracted. I started my contract in like November 2014. I was really just kind of waiting on some contracts and stuff to come over, just so kind of y'all can kind of understand my background. Sports background, ran football. I mean, I done football, ran track in college. That's why they called me the All-American. Two-sport All-American, had a chance to go pro, signed a few contracts, got hurt. Um, Took an insurance settlement, and I'm sitting here thinking like, yo, I'm this 22, got two kids. You instantly go from not really having money to making more money than anyone in your family, then it just gets taken away, right? So I had to ask myself, okay, how can I get back to a six-figure income? Right, that was my main thing. Right, how can I get back? And I need to get back quickly. So I got into insurance knowing what type of money was there, didn't really know about how to do it. Right, kind of back out of you guys. I know money's there. Let me just kind of try this thing out. Started in the supplemental market, shipped around, was working this other company. I was producing probably about 7 to 8 thousand every week. Quickly got promoted to manager, and I'm like, yo, this contract ain't gonna work, right? I don't understand why I'm not making six figures here. This is ridiculous. But I'm like, you talking about volume? Obviously, we all know AP, 7 to 8 thousand a week. You should be a six-figure income earner for sure, and I wasn't. So I got to kind of looking around. I interviewed with literally every company that was there. I was trying to find that market. Did not really understand that I was already in the market that I needed to be in, right? So when I got introduced to Isaac, the rest was kind of history. So kind of having a few years in insurance, my mindset, my mindset, it kind of shifted to something different, right? Instantly made six figures first year, which was expected. I knew I was going to get there. And it literally took me 3 months to get to $10,000 a month. So if you guys are wondering, I know some of you guys started off hot, making good money. It took me 3 months off of gold leads, no platinums, no nothing. My mindset was, you know what, if y'all can give me a lead with somebody's name on it that they filled out and asked for the information, I don't care if it's 7 years old, 10 years old, I hold all the power in my hands, right? So that mindset of, you know what, I'm gonna make this money off of this, and I'm not gonna go to the platinum leagues. That was my thing, So kind of shifting forward, you start making six figures, and then you got to ask yourself, well, what the hell I'm gonna do with it, right? And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, 100 grand, guys, is not as much as you may think that it is. It's a great starting point. It's not your ending point. So don't think that 100 grand, you can live an okay lifestyle, but you can't really go provide and do the nice stuff that you may want to do, right? Once you start hanging around bigger fish. So my thing was, I started making six figures. I already had an LLC, and S corp already set up, right? And that's kind of how I'm getting into this. I started making the money, and then I started paying a whole bunch in the taxes, right? I think I paid more in taxes making 120 grand than I do making over a quarter million, right? And I'm explaining to you how. Like like guys, when we're doing this as a 1099, right? We're independent contractors. Most of you guys are if you don't have your stuff set up, right? We get double tax. And if you guys were at the meeting, you kind of heard me and Ty kind of talk about some of this stuff, and probably some of you guys haven't actually really done it yet, or haven't really hit you yet, so you understand. Like, okay, he was actually talking. He was doing this talk for me, all right, so you can understand it, right? We make the money. I'm paying $20,000 in the taxes, right? And then I'm like, yo, shit, this is ridiculous. I've never written checks that big for someone else to get. But I literally thought, man, you know what? This is just the cost of doing business. No, that's not the cost of doing business. I was doing it wrong. I just didn't understand how to go about doing it, right? And one of my mentors, man, that kind of brought me into insurance and taught me how to sell. He said, man, you're independent contractor. You're thinking like a W-2 employee. You're not a boss until you can sign your own checks, right? And at that time, I don't really understand what that means, right? Everybody think they want to be a boss, but if you're not signing your own checks, you're not a boss, right? And once you get to that point, then the business will start. You'll look at the business different, right? You understand? You want to know why I'm always consistent, how I always been a top 2 rider, top 3 rider within Isaac's side or on 300 side since I've been here. It's because my mindset now is I'm not an independent contractor. I'm the damn boss, right? My family, my income is solely dependent on me. Brian don't cash my checks, nor do he pay me a dime. NASB love him to death, but they don't pay me shit, right? They don't pay me anything. I'm the boss. So when you have that mindset, rain, sleet, snow, now obviously if it's hurricane down there in Houston, guys, I know y'all can't work. I understand that. But the little things that would usually, you know what, man, I ain't working today. I can't do that. That never hits my mind like I'm not working today. Like I'm not telling you guys to go work 6 and 7 days a week. If that's what you want to do, that's great. I'm not going to take that from you because obviously the more you work, the more money you'll make. But for me, I think it's to me it's more about work-life balance. For me, right? It's not necessarily about the income because a lot of times, man, when you're chasing a whole bunch of income, you know, sometimes people do some illegal stuff or stuff that you really don't need to be doing to do it, especially in this business. If you haven't seen it yet, it's definitely here, right? And you guys want to do stuff the right way. We're kind of getting back on track. So I started making the money. I'm paying all this money in the taxes, and I'm like, okay, I got to figure something out. How can I cut these taxes down? But mind you, I have this LLC. You have to have an LLC, guys, set up before you can set up a business account, right? Once you got the business account, now you can have your deposits sent to your business. Now, some of you guys are probably asking, well, I've already done my contracts under, you know, just independent contractor, just under your social. That is okay. That's not necessarily a bad thing. All right, because you can still run all those 1099s when you file your taxes under your LLC. I'm gonna just talk about LLC. I'm not gonna speak about S corp stuff. So just you can file your taxes under your LLC at the end of the year. So that stuff doesn't matter. You have an accountant, you can be able to separate, you know, your personal income from your business income, even when it's coming in your just your name, right? Because you can file your taxes that way and it'll be okay. All right. Now, I would recommend switching it eventually. All right. Getting your stuff switched over to where, you know, those 1099s are coming in Jacob Reel's LLC, whatever, you know, whatever the case may be, would be better, but it's not necessarily going to make it or break it. Okay. Once you do that, now what you want to do is you want to pay yourself a salary if you're making enough money, right? And this ain't really for people who's if you're making 50,000, you know, 60,000, you're not really gonna really truly see the benefit, right? Once you get to that 6-figure point and you're paying in, you know, a lot of taxes, you got to understand that anything that you net, right, minus your business expenses. So if you go make 120 and your net is 80, you're getting double taxed on that 80. You got to pay it as an individual, and you also got to pay it from a business standpoint because you're self-employed. So you get double taxed on FICA. All right. Medicare, Social Security, you guys were getting double taxed there. All right. We got to, and to minimize that, you can do it if you pay yourself a salary. So, all right, we net 80,000. I just pay myself a modest salary of 30,000. Now, you know where I got to pay FICA taxes off of? That 30,000, right? You still have to pay your portion, and you still got to pay your business portion, but you only got to pay it on that 30,000. So you're not taking that as big of a hit. And I think my first time doing it, I saved myself like 10 grand in taxes. Like literally, I ran a payroll for 25,000. It ended up costing me 33 grand. You know, once they, you know, fill out all the, you know, payroll taxes and everything, saved me over $10,000 from just running a payroll. That is the difference. And when you have like when you can do that, right? It's you look at insurance differently. You won't just look at it as a man, I'm just going to work. I'm making, and I've been there, man. Brian making money off me, Jacob making money off of me. No, you're a business. Somebody gonna get a cut. I just want to make sure I'm getting the biggest cut. All right. As long as you guys understand that, then don't worry about somebody making a little override off of you or that shit, it's irrelevant. Because if you go do a regular job, all right, you're gonna have to outsource so much stuff that a whole bunch of people gonna eat off of you. That's the name of the game, right? So, but once you understand that you're in business, we are locked in, we in business together, and you're running payroll. Who I use, guys, I use ADP. That's who I use. I use ADP, AD as in dog, P. That's who I use. The reason why is I don't want to be responsible for having to pay my stuff in quarterly on my own, right? You can do this stuff through QuickBooks if you want to, you can. But once you run that payroll, like for example, if your salary is, 30,000 and you're running payroll every 2 weeks, let's just say your net is $600, right? There's $600 that's coming and you got to pay in $300 out of that off your payroll. You have to go in there and manually do that separately. Or with ADP, once I run payroll, which is every 2 weeks, right? Every 2 weeks, it costs me like $1,900 is what they take out of my account every 2 weeks. 300 something or whatever it is go toward payroll taxes, and then the rest get deposited into my personal checking, not business checking, my personal checking. All right. When I go to the grocery store, if I, just your everyday stuff that's not business, that has to come out. It needs to come out of a personal checking account. So if you guys are getting deposit, I'm assuming you guys deposits right now are going into personal checking if you don't have an LLC. Right. Once you get that LLC set up, every damn deposit needs to go to the LLC. Once you run that payroll, or if you write yourself a check out of your business account, you deposit that into your personal. That's how you separate business from personal, right? That's the first step. Once you get that, you can kind of get things rolling. If y'all got any questions on that while I'm talking, just go ahead and unmute yourself and let me know. Anybody got anything?
Hey, D, I got some. So that's something similar to what I've been doing, writing myself a check. Is there a certain time that I should be doing this, like say every week or every 2 weeks? Or does it matter with you on how frequently that you write yourself a check to go to your personal account? Or you say you're doing it through ADP? So in my situation, should it be a certain time that I'm doing that for myself?
So you're paying yourself a salary, but you're not taking out any taxes.
Well, say I write myself a check, but I'm just doing it randomly. I'm not like doing it on like every 2 weeks or every week. Would you recommend it be done like on a certain date, like bi-weekly or weekly?
I mean, yeah. So I mean, guys, yeah, I get what you're saying, but see, like personally, like, let me speak on me. When I write myself a check out of my business account, this is a bonus, right? It's not for like personal check reasons. It's like, you know what? I want some extra money. I want extra cash flow. When I write a check out of my business account as a bonus, it doesn't get taxed like payroll taxes. It's different, right? So I save myself all type of money when I'm writing myself a bonus at the end of the year. Or you want to pay yourself a quarterly bonus, or if you're making that type of money, you want to pay yourself a weekly bonus, then great, do that. But you want to try to break it down to either quarterly or a year-end bonus. Write yourself a check 20 grand, right? I can go write myself a check for 20 grand out of my business account, and that's not payroll. I do not have to pay FICA taxes off of that check. It's taxed differently, right? So the more you know, when you start running this stuff like a business, because this is a business, this is a real legit business, and when you start doing it like that, you'll start. Obviously, you need a good accountant, guys. Get an accountant. Got to have an accountant. You can't be out here just kind of freelancing and doing this stuff. Now, it's okay to start it, but guys, it hit me. I started making over 200,000 And I was like, shoot, okay, man, I don't want to net this. I don't want to show net. How can I make this money disappear? Right. So not only taking all of my business write-offs, all my expenses, your stuff from your house and just different stuff that you can do when you own homes and doing different stuff, payroll taxes, deductions. I hope you guys got QuickBooks. Do y'all have QuickBooks? No, you do not have QuickBooks. Okay. So if you don't have QuickBooks, you need to get QuickBooks immediately. That is not something that you need to be waiting on. We have to separate business from personal. I do not keep receipts. I'm not going to be hoarding receipts at the end of the year to be like, hey, what did I spend my money on? Don't do that. That's like old school and it's kind of retarded. Don't do that. All right. So once you have the QuickBooks, anything that's coming into your account, and even if you don't have an LLC right now, guys, you can still get QuickBooks. You still want to be organized. So that way at the end of the year, all your stuff is organized. You get a deposit in, it's business, it's income. You got lead costs, boom, swipe left, business expense. Swipe left, business expense. You go to whatever it is that you're buying business. I'm out to eat, or I'm doing a business, quote unquote, lunch with my wife or with my kids, whatever the case may be, with my mom, right? Hotels, any of that stuff, right? Put that in there and all you gotta do is just swipe right, swipe left, swipe right, swipe left. Business, personal at the end of the year, or you can look at this stuff quarterly, every monthly, biannually. Obviously, I would recommend looking at it quarterly. So you have all your stuff in a row. You're like, you know what? This is how much I've spent. When you're talking about ROI, you're talking about the cost of doing business. You want to know, you know what? I spent this amount and I made this amount of money. Now, at the end of the day, if you want to make more, then obviously you know that, okay, I need to spend more money. All your stuff would be right there in front of you. I can go to my QuickBooks and show you guys exactly how much money I made every month and how much I net every month. Now, when we talk of net, I'm not saying with all the write-offs that I can take. When we're saying write-offs as in what I spent on leads, stuff I pay on QuickBooks, the stuff I was paid for white pages or my faxes or my cell phone bill or what else I'm spending, effects quotes, this other little insurance thing that I got for underwriting, any of that stuff, like anything that I'm actually really spending my money on, at the end of the month, I can just look at it and be like, okay, well, all right, I'm up. All right, and it keeps my money in front of me, right? And I think the biggest part of being consistent in this business, because a lot of people will ask me, will always say, man, insurance money, your money can go up and down. That's never true for me, ever. All right, I don't know what that's like. I can pretty much guarantee that I can go make $5,000 plus every single week, and there's a formula to that. And the reason being is because I always have my numbers in front of me, right? I know Jacob always talk about numbers with you guys. So if you got iPad Pro, if you guys using Tally, or if you're using, I'm an Android guy, I use a counter app. So going from every door knock to presentation to my approaches to delivery notes I leave to sit downs and no presentations. I track all that stuff, right? So at the beginning of the week or at the end of the week, I can look at, okay, I always look at my ratios, right? So I know that if I'm knocking on, I don't know, say 50 doors during the week, I know that my door knock to approach ratio, I'm pretty much can always guarantee it's about 50 to 60%. If I knock on 50, I'm probably gonna get in front of at least 25 plus. All right, I'm gonna get a chance to say that approach. And I also know that my approach ratio to presentation ratio is always above 50%. Always, if I can get it above 50, I'm good. Now, if I'm at 40, it's not necessarily bad, but I'm aiming for that 50 plus range, right? Now, from that ratio, from the presentation ratio to app count ratio. Now, understanding you can go get 15 presentations and you may only close in 4 homes, right? It's possible. but you could also go write 8 or 9 apps. So I always try to keep my presentation to app ratio, 40, 40%, right? And understanding those numbers, I can pretty much guarantee what I need to do to make the money, right? All I do is I look at, okay, what did I spend? What's my lead order? My lead order now is I still do 15 dental and I do, I think 20 or 25 digital, which obviously they don't feel that every month. Every week. If they did, I believe, don't quote me on that, Jacob. I know it's 600 something bucks, 600, give or take, 700. But I never really spend that every single week. But based off of that money that I'm spending, I look at, well, this is how many approaches I get. This is how many presentations I'm getting. This is how many apps I'm getting. If I want to reverse engineer that and guarantee that I'm making the money that I need to make, the common denominator is only one or two things. I either need to talk to more people, right, running the T, or just talking to more, or I need to spend, let's just say that week, I need to spend an extra $100, $150, maybe an extra $200 to make sure that my damn numbers are aligning, right? If I spend $500 on the leads, right, and it only gives me the 10 presentations, that's not the sweet spot for me. My sweet spot is 12 to 14. When I get to 12 presentations, my numbers align. So when I'm talking about numbers aligning, the door knock to approach ratio, the approach ratio, the presentation ratio to app ratio, that's all I'm concerned with. I'm not necessarily concerned with the AP. All right? I don't worry about the AP. I don't try to oversell. I don't do that. I just go out and I just sell. I need multiple apps. I need multiple apps. If I'm getting more apps, right? As for one, it's keeping me busy. It's keeping stuff in the pipeline. It's keeping deposits rolling. And like at the end of the day, it just keeps me busy, right? And I'm always expecting something to fall off or something to go wrong, something to get, go to underwrite and don't get approved, right? So when I have that type of mindset and I know what I'm looking for, then I can pretty much always guarantee make the money that I need to make. And at the end of the day, if you got the money, just spend a little bit more money. So I don't want you guys to look at like, man, I spent this 500 on these digitals, and these digitals didn't pop, right? But if you're working digital, obviously, they spread out like crazy. Some of the addresses are wrong. Some of my stuff comes in, it say Oklahoma, but it's in Texas or it's in Arizona. Man, knowing that, you already have to plan for that. If I get 25, I know 5 gonna be jacked up. It's a cost of doing business at $12 lead. So when you start looking at that differently and already kind of expecting it, then it don't really give you a reason to get upset or to get your head like just miscombobulated. Because in this business, our mindset is absolutely everything, right? And it don't really take much for something to throw us off on my groove. Your door approach is gonna be whack. Your presentation, they ain't gonna feel it. You got this thing look on your face and you think that you're smiling, but anyone with any type of common sense can see through that. That right there is gonna mess up your whole week, right? It'll mess up your whole week. You spent the money, you think I'm doing everything right. That little thing that's wrong, because the mindset I believe is the most important thing, right? So I think affirmation is big. I don't know if you guys ever heard me say this, but and I do this I do this like for real. I talk to myself. I look in the mirror and I'm just like, man, I'm literally, I feel like I'm the best. I don't think anybody can sell at the rate that I can sell with the same amount of leads. Honestly, I just don't really think anybody can really go toe to toe with me and get what I can get. 15 leads, you give me 15 dental, we get the same scenario, I'm gonna outsell anybody on those 15 leads. Right, that's just the mindset. So me thinking that, now I ask my wife, hey man, baby, I look shit, you buy some insurance from me, right? Boom. Right. And then when I'm in the door, like when I'm going to my first door, I never say, oh shit, I don't feel like they home. Shit, they might be here. They might be there. Right? Shit, they heard somebody gonna bust down. That's what I always say. They about to go bust down. The app is coming. I don't know where the AP is coming from, but I do know eventually these leads is gonna take me to it, right? Or that lead's gonna get me to an area where I see somebody outside. So my mindset is always Like I'm always high off of just being able to be able to go to work and not knowing that the next house may be 1,000, this may be 2,000. Right? We got to understand that our opportunity, this stuff is special. You know, we can go make more money in a day than some can make in a month. And when you understand that, and you know that's in the back of your head, like why wouldn't you be excited to go to work? Who gives a damn about the no? We're gonna hear the no's. We're gonna get a bad batch of leads, but we also know that the next lead may be that may be the one, right? And that's what keeps my mindset right, where I'm never, you know, I'm not. It's not really anything they can say to kind of get me down. You slam a door in my face, oh well, right? I think about it. How many people have got the door slammed in their face? Kind of go like this. I mean, yay, that it happened. Has it happened a lot? No, it doesn't happen often. How many sales have you had? Do you remember every sale? No, we don't remember every sale. Or you can get one person that be rude to you. Now you're ready to just, you know, you ready to just say, fuck it, I'm done. These leads suck. Nah, don't ever do that. And if you're doing that, that's the thing that keeps me going. That's why I've been able to be consistent, because I don't believe in excuses. It ain't no excuse. Excuses and the positive stuff don't really go hand in hand. It just don't. Right? You guys don't want to hear about my day that went bad. You go out there and you get your ass kicked. You just get your ass kicked. That's okay. You can be good and get your ass kicked. It's fine. But consistently, they won't. Right? I can go 0 for 4 today. I can go 0 for 4 the next day. But goddamn it, you tell them I can go 0 for 4 the next day, the next day, and the next day, it's not going to happen. Eventually, once I meet my sweet spot, right, which is at, for me, 12 to 14 presentations, my numbers will always align, right? And you guys don't have to reverse engineer this based off of your skill set, right? And when you're doing this, you'll be able to see where you're struggling at once you understand the ratios from the door knock to the approach or whatever the case may be. Whether you ain't putting in enough effort, or you suck at the door, or you suck in the presentation, you're not doing something right. But you got to understand the minimums need to be the minimums. And I have minimums from a presentation standpoint. When I'm out daily, some stuff is just not acceptable. Like one presentation, that's not acceptable to me. Right? I think for me, 2 is the bare minimum where that's acceptable to me. Right? That's not what I'm going for, but I gotta go give myself 2 shots. So what the hell am I here doing? Some people are doing 5, 6 presentations, right, a day. So even on the roughest, toughest day, when these leads are spreading us all the way the hell out, I drove 300 damn miles a day, right? And it's just, sometimes it's just how it is. Somebody gonna hear me 2 times. I don't care what's going on. I ain't going home until somebody hear me twice. And when you have that mindset where these are my minimums, that will always be your minimums. The standard has to be the standard, right? That's why I'll never have less than 10 presentations in a week ever. Because you're not working if you're not presenting, 12, 13, 14 times. Don't say you're full time, you're fucking part time. And you can only get lucky so many times out here, right? You can get lucky a few times. Be honest with you guys, right? You can get lucky a couple times, but please do not expect to have 6-figure income and really be doing part-time, because eventually some bad stuff is going to happen. Chargebacks will happen. Your lack of work ethic will come back to get you. And this is what I say this, and I say this because of this, is when you train yourself to understand that your standard are your standards, because everybody's gonna go through a rough patch. All right, you're gonna have a couple rough weeks, and it's gonna happen back to back. If you don't understand the ratios in your numbers, right, and you don't know, you haven't built yourself up to a tolerance to where you know that you're mentally strong to deal with that, where a bad week, like I just had a bad week last week. I wrote 2,000. I don't never do no shit like that. I can give y'all every excuse in the book of why it happened. root canal and all this other stuff. Besides the point, I still wrote $2,000, right? That don't happen, right? Shit happens, but I understand I built myself up to a tolerance to where that's okay. Because the next week, if it may literally take me, I had a week one time where I may have had like 20 presentations, man, and I ended up writing like 3K. Right? Y'all like 3. No, that's not good. That's bad. But if you don't build yourself up to that tolerance to where you understand that sometimes that's going to happen, you will not be in this business long term. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. You can be hot for a minute. Like some of y'all, I don't know who all on here. Some of y'all y'all hot, right? Y'all writing crazy AP. I've been here for a minute. I've seen people come and go, right? This is like when they say this is a marathon, you gotta understand, can I be consistent for years to come? I don't want to toot my own horn, guys, but I've been consistent always and using this method, right? That I'm about to explain to you guys if y'all never heard me talk about it. I come from a sports background, right? So we always can't look at stuff in the long term. We gotta break it down. Right? We gotta make it small. So obviously, football guy, I break down each day into 4 quarters. If y'all never heard me talk about this. So each day is a game. All right. If y'all watch sports, y'all understand that somebody can have a good first quarter. You can suck 1 quarter. You can be decent 1 quarter, and then you can just be average on 1, right? And then that's the game. But then I break it down at the end of that day. That one day where I just play 1 game, it comes back down into 1 quarter. Now it's just a quarter. All right, you play the game, mini game, now it's a quarter. Second day is Tuesday. Break each day, part of your day, down into 4 quarters, understanding that any quarter you can go off. At any quarter you can go off. You may go hit 30. If you're playing basketball, like literally, it happens. Somebody can go hit 50 and a half. All right, but just be consistent, right? You go write 5K, don't stop and not work the next day. All right. Now it's Wednesday. Because when I say 4 quarters, because to be honestly, I think that in this business, it's hard to go hard, like like for 5-6 days in a row. I'm not saying you can't. I just think it's hard. I think you're gonna have the float day where you're gonna be delivering, you're gonna be doing stuff that you need to go get done. You gotta get this signed, this amendments, or whatever the case may be. That happens. So I realized like 4 working days where you actually kind of hitting the pavement and going. Now it's Wednesday. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters. At the end of that day, man, it's just 3rd quarter. And the reason why I say this is why this is important. Because you understand that you may not go off until the 4th. You understand that happens after you in game plan. It's halftime. You went back to the drawing boards. You made the adjustment that you need to make. You got more leads. You perfected that door approach. Like sometimes you present in the house, go like record yourself and be like, man, why did I not say this? And I'm guilty of it, right? Because I feel like I'm so smooth in the house that I can finesse my way out of anything. Right? And then I'm like, you know what, man, I did just miss that step. You know what? What the hell I need a step 6 for? Hell, I do all the step 6. Brian can't step 6 like me. Who the hell can step 6 like me? I am the step 6, right? And then I found myself doing a step 6 with one of my guys. And that is the difference between me making that sale and me not making that sale. My ego, or just me thinking that, man, I'm good enough that I can do this all on my own. But sometimes psychologically, that shit's not going to work. You have to be consistent with what you're doing, right? Now, it's Thursday. Same thing. 1 quarter, 2, 3, 4. But at the end of that quarter, right, at the end of the week, all right, now you're in play 4 or 5 little mini games. You got to understand that if they whooped your ass during that week, it is just 1 quarter. You got to understand, I cannot stress that enough. It's just 1 quarter, 4 weeks in a month. It takes 1 week, 1 quarter, literally, to make more than most people would make ever in a month or 2 months or 3 months. You got to understand that. So do not get discouraged if you have 1 bad quarter. And when I'm saying quarter, I mean in a week. All right, that is not necessarily a bad thing. That's not what we want, but it is going to happen. If it ain't happened to you yet, it's going to happen. All right, build yourself up to tolerance to understand that it's going to happen. And then the next week we go do the same thing. All right. Then at the end of that week, man, boom, it's just the second quarter. Now it's halftime. If you're not where you need to be, income wise, activity wise, man, look yourself in the mirror, go look at your numbers and be like, okay, this is what I've done. These are the ratios. This is how much I'm spending. Reverse engineer that. And then boom, you'll know exactly what you got to do to go make the money that you need to make, where your money is consistent. And when you know that your money is going to be consistent and you're not getting $500 this week, $300 this week, $2,000 that week, no, you can be consistent. If you're consistently if you're $8,000 a month in deposits, we can pretty much guarantee you're going to get $2,000 every week. This is how you do it. This is how I'm able to take my wife out of the workforce. This is why I'm building a $600,000 house as we speak right now. Is these methods. This is what I'm doing. This is the mindset that goes behind it. Now it gets to the point where, guys, if I want to make more money, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not going to work more. All right, I'm going to give NASB 5 days. I work 5 days. I work Monday through Friday. I do not work weekends. Me personally, work like balance. I got 4 kids, all in sports. My days are crazy. Tuesdays we got some, Wednesdays we got some, Thursday we got stuff. Wife got to go this way. I got to come and get such and such and take them that way. I can't have that as an excuse to why my numbers are not where my numbers need to be. That don't work for me. My ratios and my minimums are my minimums. All right, whatever it is I got to do, I got to make sure I got to do it. So getting an app before 1 o'clock, man, I always try to do it. Like, that's like big to me. Get an app for 1, shoot, get my mindset right. And now I'm like, okay, boom, I got to get another one. I got to. Like, that's important because I'm starting every week, guys. We starting the week out in the hole because we just spend money on leads. We buying gas. Like, I just gassed up and it was like $70 for. I'm in a Kia Stinger, right? Like, it cost me $70 to fill that car up. I'm already in the hole. So getting that app and getting that stuff early, it just get me in a groove. Right? Gets me in a groove and get me pumped up. And get my mindset right. Right. So now you done all that good stuff. Now you're making the money. $15,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month, whatever the case may be. All right. Now you have to be smart. If you guys are not, like, you got to understand we're self-employed with bosses. So I have 2 retirement accounts that I have. I have 7 or 8 different life insurance policies. All right. Health insurance, cancer stuff. I have a IRA through one of my banks, where obviously we can only max that out $6,000. That's it. That's all you can put in there, right? But what I just did, I just set up a simple IRA for my payroll taxes, right? Now with a simple IRA, don't quote me on this. I want to say I can put up to $15,000, $16,000 a year into that as being a business owner. Now, obviously, I didn't want to do that. So what I did was I just did, my salary is $50,000. So I done 5% of something, and then my business, my company's matching it 3%. So it end up being another 6,500 that are going to, my different investments accounts. And that not only helps with my payroll expenses, but it also gives me another write-off as well. Because we got to be thinking long term. You gotta put money away, right? So as money come in, guys, like, if you're a business owner, if you get $10,000 deposits in 1 week, that ain't your damn money. Y'all gotta understand that it's not. I mean, I know y'all laughing, like, that's not your money. So don't look at it as it's your money, because it's not. There's a cost of doing business. All right, that money comes in. You need to transfer 20. I do 20%. That's just me. If you don't really have a whole lot of bunch of kids, you probably need to do 25, 30%. All right, I don't care. You get a $100 deposit, 20%, send it away to an account that's not where you can see it, right? So use a different account for your taxes. So I would assume if you have an LLC, set up your business checking, but then you can also go set up a business savings. And I would recommend putting it somewhere else, out of sight, out of mind. It's and I listen, I'm guilty of it. And I have my business tax account, one of them, in the same, Chase where I have one of my business accounts at. Something about when I transfer that money over there, and then when I look at my business checking, I can see that business savings. And then when I need something, shit, I find myself transferring money out of there. But when it's somewhere else, man, at the end of the year, I'll look, I'm like, damn, 60 grand over there. Okay, well, shoot, when it comes time to pay taxes and stuff, I ain't tripping. So whatever I pay taxes, let's say is 15,000. Well, shit, now I can write myself a bonus check of 40, right? And it's tax different, all right? I don't have to pay payroll taxes and stuff off of that. It's differently. You don't have to wait for no damn income tax bonus or stuff that people do. That's broke-minded stuff. We got to get out of that broke-minded stuff. Because when you self-employed and you're a business owner, that shit don't happen no more. Once you start making the money, ain't no more refunds, big refunds, right? So pay yourself a bonus at the end of the year, right? Be smart with it. Get it out of there. So let's just say you're having a tough week and you got a $2,000 charge back. And you like, man, okay, that's the only carrot that I got that's advancing me right now. This is where I need to write the business. You know what, man? Just take your business credit card, pay it off, or just go back to where you putting the money for your taxes and just pay it. It's not that big of a deal. Once you start running like a business, it's not a big deal. So if you don't, key takeaways, QuickBooks, if you don't have it, whether you LLC or not, gotta have it. QuickBooks. All right, get it now. If you want to be serious, LLC, set up a business account, business checking, business savings. Deposits come in, 20% needs to go out. All right, just immediately. If you're running payroll, I don't pay in quarterly. I think with my payroll taxes, I want to say it's like $1,000 a month that I pay in for taxes. I pay the government. So I'm at the end of the year, I already paid them 12 grand. I paid them 12 grand already. So now it's really not that much that I'm gonna have to pay them outside of that once I start doing my write-offs and everything else that I got, right? I may be able to get a little bit of a small little refund. But when you're doing it right, now you're a business owner, right? You look at it differently. You wake up with a different type of swag when you start writing a check out of your business account and you're running payroll. And in mine say Locke Insurance Incorporated, right? That's what pays me. That's what pays my bills, right? Get a business credit card. Anything that chargebacks, anything, right? I use my stuff through American Airlines. I like to get my points. Anytime I can swipe that bad boy and get my miles and then just pay it off at the end of the month, it's cost of doing business. Everything itemized, everything is there. I can hand that off to my accountant, save myself thousands of dollars, but it also gets me in the mindset of, you know what, man, I'm a legit, like I'm a real business owner now, all right? And when you have that mindset, man, God, you'll look at this business differently, I promise you, all right? It's different. And the reason why I want to go through this with you guys is nobody really go over it with me. I have to like figure this stuff out, right? And it cost me thousands of dollars because no one told me. And it shocked me that when we was at conference, when we done that meeting, I don't know how many people that I knew that was making, I know same money I'm making, $250,000 plus, and they don't even have their stuff set up. I'm like, what the hell have you guys been doing? What have y'all been doing? So the more you know, when you start making the big bucks or making more money, guys, it'll save you tons of money. It'll put you in position to win. It'll help you when you're looking to buy a home. And there's different things that kind of go into that. I mean, that can kind of go, I don't know how deep you guys want to go into that, but it's important to be doing it the right way. You know, for me, I'm gonna have to take a hit on taxes this year, right? I think I have to show a net of at least 130,000. meaning I have to pay taxes off of 130,000. Right. The beauty in this business is, we'll just say last year, my 1099s, and obviously if you figure this out, your 1099s and your deposits don't really never match up, right? So you can pay way more money than what your 1099s will say. Well, my 1099s say $250,000. Okay, so that kind of puts stuff in perspective. All right. Now, after doing business expenses and write-offs and payroll and everything, I only had to pay in like 12 grand. Yeah, it's just like, how the hell, how did you do that? Well, I was paying 20 when I made 120. And I ain't talking about net. I'm just saying I made 120. The more you know, the better. All right. Let's not give the government all of our money. We want to make as much money as we can, and we want to make it disappear. Okay. This year I can't make it disappear, but 2022, all right, I'm gonna be back down to $60,000 net. Right. I ain't making no money. And that's the beauty of this business. And this is how the rich continue to get richer and more wealthier. You're able to invest in different stuff. You're able to, just make more money. Only thing that sucks is when you're looking to buy something, guys, you got to show the money. Okay, you got to show the net. That's the only thing that matters. If you're buying a home, not so much on cars, don't really matter. But guys, when you guys are buying property, real estate, that's that type of stuff, you have to show the money. So prep and plan for it. Okay, I would say give yourself a 2-year period to do it. Take a small hit on the taxes 1 year and a small hit on the taxes another year, so you don't have to do such a big one at the same time, right? And it'll end up costing you a whole bunch of money in taxes. So plan ahead, and that'll help you guys. So if y'all got any questions, feel free to come off mute. I'd love to answer anything that you guys have, whether it's about the LLC, S Corp, or if it's taxes, or if it's anything just within your business. Your approach, it doesn't really matter. Whatever it is, feel free to ask away.
Hey, Locke, what was ADP?
So ADP, who's that speaking? Who's that?
Justin.
Okay. So ADP, I use them to run my payroll. They run my payroll services. So I tried, Jake just put it on there. So I use them because when I run my payroll out of my business account, guys, they handle everything for me. The taxes, the filings, they send me the W-2 at the end of the year. I think they send me like 4 at the end of each year. I'm not responsible for having to file anything or do nothing. All right, I get a regular W-2 like we're used to getting working a regular job. I get the same stuff. So I pay them. I think they take out I think it ended up costing me like $40 a month or something like that, that they take those fees out of when they run their payroll. It's inexpensive, and it'll save you a lot of money, guys.
What's the difference between an S Corp and an LLC?
God damn, bro.
Okay, so when it comes to a LLC is just a limited liability company, right? All you're doing is just separating business from personal, right? So if they sue you, they can't come out to your personal assets and stuff, right? Now you're a legitimate business, and that's what's required. It's mandatory to set up a business account, right? And have business credit cards, etc. Now, from an S Corp is a corporation, right? So when I'm a corporation get way better tax write-offs than you would as an LLC, right? Now, you can be a regular LLC, and at the end of the year, you can file your taxes as an S Corp, right? When you're an S Corp and you pay yourself a reasonable salary, right? And I'm gonna use it as an example. Let's say, your salary's $40,000. Your 1099s, $200,000, right? After business write-offs, etc. When you're an S Corp, right? I can probably make probably 60,000 of that money really just kind of float in the air, and it's actually like unearned income. All right, so when you're S Corp, it's different. So that's why, like when Trump, or you thinking of people that's like that got a whole lot of money, they're S corps, they're corporations, they're not LLCs. They're never going to be an LLC. They're going to be an S corp, right? Or they can pay shares to their to the shareholders, which obviously we don't do that because it's just us. You know, but you get different, you get special write-offs, and your money is taxed differently once you're making the money, where it makes sense to do it. But like I said, don't worry about the S corp. Just do the LLC first. You start making above 6 figures, then you can start filing as an S corp, and then you can literally end up not really paying any money in taxes other than what you're paying on payroll.
What's your door approach?
Door approach or what lead?
Digital. I mean, Memorial. My bad.
Memorial lead. So knock knock. So I'm Derrick. Sorry to just pop up on you, man. I'm like I said, I'm Derrick. I work with North American Senior Benefits. Now we got your card. You filled out. Looks like you were requesting that life insurance with that Memorial Guide. Now I tried to call you. Let me verify this just real fast. 33 blah 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 blah. Man, you don't answer numbers you don't know, do you? You just like me. I don't do the same thing. But the company asked that I stop by to go through it with you. I just need 5 or 10 minutes to kind of go through this information with you. Matter of fact, let me go turn off my car. I'll be right back. Now, y'all probably wondering, like, man, that's kind of long. And the reason why I do that, I run into a lot of folks that say, you guys y'all don't call first, right? You didn't call. Why y'all don't call?
Yeah.
Well, I did call. Now, we tried to call you on this number. Let me verify this and make sure that it's right. The number you put, and I'll be playing dumb. Looks like that 405, is that a 3? Is that 7 or 7? Shoot, that's why we didn't get you. We've been dialing the wrong number this whole time. But I'm glad I caught you, because you probably don't answer numbers you don't know anyway, right? All right, nobody would say, you don't answer numbers you don't know, right? Right. Okay. They just asked that I stop by to go over this information, which can drop this off to you, right? It takes that away that they can't use it, right? A lot of times people will say that, well, can you guys call first? Well, we've been calling, right? We put my number down. If you don't call, I've called. And they'll always say, well, you're right. I get so many telemarketers and scam likely stuff. Well, we called. We tried that. We didn't get you. Boom, here I am. I just need 5 or 10 minutes to visit with you. And it's the same thing, whether it's digital, whether it's check lead, or whatever the case might be. I try to call you. Or let's just say there's no number on there, right? Man, I apologize for just popping up on you. Now, we usually call. I usually only do preset appointments. But since you didn't put your number down, and I listen, I understand you don't want a million people calling you, but it was actually only going to be me. And it's like a relief. Oh, okay, yeah, I don't want that. Well, you know what? I'm here now. That's what we got. You qualified. I just need a few minutes to visit with you. I take that away because I get it a lot. I take it away. So no matter how they look at it, how they spend it, right? Well, no, I usually answer numbers you don't know. What number is it? Well, I usually hand this stuff off to my appointment setter, and sometimes those numbers, it could be different numbers, but they couldn't reach you. So that's the reason why I stop out, just to make sure I get this information to you. No matter what they say, and the little white lies, guys, it's okay in this business. All right. I always say, I try to call you, you don't answer numbers you don't know. All right. Is this number right? Well, yeah, my phone has been broke. Listen, I want to get them to agree. That's a tie down. Get them to agree with something. And now, you know what? Hey, I apologize for just popping up on you. We tried to call you. You didn't answer. They just asked that I stop by and go this information with you. This is probably the only way I was going to catch you too, wasn't it? You know how I said, like y'all said, that was the only way I was probably going to catch you, wasn't it? Something about that, wasn't it? Or that just little extra thing at the end, that's that tie down to get them to agree. Because it doesn't matter what I say, when they agree with me, now they can't really be a butthole to me if they're agreeing with me, right? So I want to get them agree with me as many times as I can, because now it's like, you know what, I tried that. So don't get mad at me for just popping up, don't get upset at me. I'm here because you requested someone, right? You don't answer, here I go. And you realize that they don't really give you a whole bunch of BS after that. It kind of calm them down, bring them back there. anything else.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Whenever you first started
Don't be
out,
shy, guys.
no, you're good. Whenever you first started out, what really helped you get going on a fast start when you first started?
Man, the hunger to get to six figures. I needed to get back. For me, that was prominence, right? I needed to get to it. I needed to get to it quickly, and I needed to get my wife out of the workforce. That was important. I don't know what it was about six figures, but that was important to me. I felt like coming from where I come from, you know, I grew up in the trenches, so six figures for me was mandatory. Right? I couldn't be a college educated guy who was supposed to be rich, and then stuff happened, and I'm not making six figures. That wasn't acceptable, right? And I wasn't gonna. Like I could not make it. Right? That was the bare minimum. Like when I talk about minimums, that's the minimum. Six figures is the minimum. All right, that's mandatory. You gotta make that. Once you put yourself in position to make that, right, you'll always make it. Right? You never hit 10 grand a month, go hit it one time. Hit it one time, and I promise you, you'll always go make 10 grand a month. Because you have the work that you understand the formula that it would take to get it. And you realize that it's not as hard as it may appear. Right? Now it's not super easy, but once you prove to yourself that it can be done, then the standard will be the standard, right? 10 grand used to be a lot of money to me. Then I started making 15, and 15 grand used to be a lot of money to me. And then you start making 20, right? 20 grand used to be a lot of money to you. You go hit 25, then it's like, well, shoot, okay, well, that ain't a lot of money. You go hit 30, well, that ain't consistent, all right? It's not. But once you hit that, your need for money is differently. But you prove yourself like, okay, it can be done. Now you can go duplicate that. And once again, the minimums will always be the minimum. All I needed was the opportunity, and I needed the leads, right? My biggest thing was y'all got a lead that someone requested information. That's all I needed. No ride-alongs. I've never seen anybody do a sale. I didn't see any of that. You guys are coming in with all type of training, ride-alongs, Zoom stuff. Man, we didn't have that. We done paper applications, no training, no internet stuff, none of that video. We didn't have that. But what we had to have hustle. And one thing I know how to do is I know how to hustle. I know how to work. I know how to go get it, right? And not giving myself excuses. I know what it's like to work for something. And I know if you're saying, hey, if I work for this, I can get that. And I was like, okay, that's all I needed. So all I needed was just a mindset, and everything else is history. So it just comes down to you, man. You are your reason for your success or your failure. It's just you. Not anybody else, not Jacob, not Brian, not Kanina, not Teddy, no, nobody. It's just you. Not your missus, nothing. Not your kids. It's you. You want to make more money, you'll do what it takes to make more money. And you'll be consistent with it because now you have a purpose of doing what you're doing. Right? I don't want my wife working for somebody else. To me, that's embarrassing. To me. No offense to anyone that has a spouse that's working. But to me, you know, you gonna pay her 30 grand? Right? And it hit different for me. Once I made my wife's salary in a month, I don't know how many times. Her salary was 32,000. I said, man, go work for what? I just made 30 grand this month. I just made your salary that you work 50, 60 hours a week as a manager to get that and hope that you get a bonus. And I just made it in a month. Go sit down. You ain't got to go back to work. I got you. All right. And if it's that big of a deal, 1 month you can have it all. And I go make more money. The mindset shifted, right? I don't know what it's gonna take for you, but that's what it was for me.
Respect. What do you do on Sundays to ensure that you have a really good week?
So man, really, I don't really do anything special, man. It's not that on Sunday I prep to work. I got my leads. I didn't get a lot of my lead orders in. So I will buy leads tonight. I will scope out the area and kind of see, okay, how many can I get in the same area? May have to be spread out, but I will get my leads tonight. I will have them routed tonight. And after that, it's just the same old, same old. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow at 6:10. All right, I'm gonna get my kid ready for school. All right, I'm gonna go work out. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna shower. I'm gonna get on the call. I'm gonna get dressed. I'm gonna eat breakfast. And I'm gonna leave. I gotta leave by 10. That is my schedule. That's what I do. If I leave earlier, it's simply just to go see my mom before she go to work. But I think working out, the reason why I think it's important for people that don't work out, um, it develops discipline, right? And in this business, you have to have discipline, right? Doing something that you don't want to do and pushing your body past discomfort. I think that's the biggest thing is we all have a level of, man, I can do this, but once you feel a little bit of discomfort, you want to stop. But if you're an athlete, if you have an athletic background, you understand that the only way that you can get better at conditioning or get better at this, you're gonna have to push past that discomfort. As long as your mind is saying, "Oh shoot, I'm tired, man. That's good enough. I'm good. I can stop." Nope, I gotta finish. And I go through the same thing. The reason why I work out, there's a method behind the madness. Now I don't train the way I used to train, like, but I still do train hard, right? And it's times where I may have 3 rounds that I got to go through my workouts, right? And then, man, when you get close to the last round, man, you got to understand I'm human. Discomfort sit in, and I'm like, shit. Whew, you know what? Workout was good. You know what? That was great. I can stop. But listen, if I do that, right? If you're allowing yourself to stop there, the brain is powerful. The mind is the most powerful thing that we got, right? As soon as it's feeling discomfort, and I'll say, you know what, you done enough. That was a good workout. You didn't have to finish. And I go home and I shower and do what I need to do. Man, I'm disabling myself doing that. I'm crippling myself, and I just don't know it. Because what I'm doing is I'm saying, hey, you know what? As soon as I feel discomfort, I can stop. That's good enough. Well, that shit's not good enough. It's not. Because sometimes you're gonna have to push past the discomfort to get to the results that you want to get to, whether it's the positive, whether that's the bare minimums. I'm gonna do 4 presentations a day. You're gonna have to push through some discomfort. It's not gonna all be easy. One day it may be easy, but the next day you may have to really fight for it. And if you don't understand how to go through and keep going when you're sweating and you're tired and your muscles is hurting, that discomfort is the only thing that's going to get you to the next level. So in deposits or in life or whatever it is, you're going to have to be comfortable being uncomfortable, if that makes sense. Discomfort ain't going nowhere. All right. You look like you used to do sports. All right. You work out some? A little bit?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Check this out. All right. Can you bench 225?
Yes.
Okay. At one point in time, was it not hard?
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was hard. We had to work out less than that to struggle to get to that. And then once you get to it, you try to do it and you can't get it. And then eventually one day you can just go warm up with it. You got to train yourself to get to that point. The same way on an income level, on a presentation level, on a door approach level, is all a direct correlation, guys. Once you train yourself to get to that point, then your training is there. That'll always be there, right? You'll always have what it takes to go make $6,000 a month, $5,000 a month, to do X amount of presentations a week. You'll always have it. But if you want to get to the next level, like the only way you can get there, you want to continue to get strong on lifting weights, what are you gonna have to do? You got to add more what? You got to add more weight.
Yeah.
You got to add more weight. Mandatory. Ain't no other way around it. You got to add more weight. And once you add that more weight, once you add it on, guys, it's gonna get back hard. All right. Your workout's gonna be a little bit harder now. All right. So doing those 20 reps you used to do with that, you ain't gonna be able to do that with that. Now you're gonna have to scale your numbers back down, do something like, because you're gonna have to build it back up. Not saying that you're weak, but now you're pushing towards something that you ain't done. You got to understand that's exactly what you guys are doing. Y'all pushing towards something that you ain't done. You think it's just gonna be easy? You're gonna have to add more weight. You're not gonna have to go through just some discomfort to get there. You're fooling yourself. That's what it takes. But once you get to a level to where The standard is the standard. That workout that used to be hard is no longer hard. It's not. All right. Somebody else be like, man, you make it look so easy. But shit, you don't know how many hours I put in. I put in a lot of time. I put in a lot of time. Y'all don't supposed to be as smooth as me. I put in years of this. I present more than y'all. Y'all ain't presenting like me. I've done thousands of presentations to get like this. My presence, I wasn't smooth. Y'all think I was smooth at the door? Think I was smooth in the house? You think my confidence was there? Hell no, it wasn't. And as we continue to change door approaches and change and leads, all right, I'm gonna keep going through the same stuff, and I'm gonna get comfortable as I continue to keep adding on more weight and keep getting to that point to where now, it ain't a workout to me anymore. All right, it's the standard is a standard, but you got to build your tolerance up to that with anything in this business. That's literally, y'all want to know the secret to becoming a 6-figure income agent? That's it. You don't need to have no agents to go get no 6 figures. You don't need no agents to go make 200 plus thousand. All right. You don't. So don't think that you do. You don't. You can do it 5 days a week. 5 days a week, you get it if you want to. Now, if you want to get there quicker or more consistently, easier, then you start adding agents, right? I'm to the point where I can't make any more money unless I grow, right? Because one thing for sure, I'm not working anymore. I'm not putting in any more hours, right? I got to continue to duplicate myself, right? But literally, guys, that's the magic. That is what I brought from my sports background to insurance, and it has worked consistently, and I've always made more money every single year.